Starfleet Underground. Every week, we'll take a look at the latest Star Trek news and then check out a current or classic episode of Star Trek. This week, our captain and number one report live from an away mission at San Diego Comicon. And we watch an episode of Enterprise where Archer and T'Pol get to go play cops and apprehend a suspect for the Vulcans. Back on the ship, Trip gets to play captain and make all the tough decisions.
Are you kidding me? 007, a friggin' dot, is going to try to make believe and pretend that he's the captain while I'm on the away mission. He doesn't even look like me.
He doesn't even talk.
So hard.
He just beeps.
How the hell?
How is anybody
That didn't stop him.
The only person who's going to believe he's captain of the ship is a fucking, like a toaster, like a Cylon or something. I mean, nobody's going to believe that he's the captain of the ship because all he does is beep.
I got a courier that was looking for me, and they said they wanted to talk to the captain. They beamed on, and he told me that a dot came on and just beeped a whole bunch of stuff at him with subtitles that says, I am the captain.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, wow.
Well, at least he had subtitles. That's something.
Yeah. And he's like, no, you're not the captain. Like, we need to speak to Captain Adams. And he's like, look at me. I am the captain now. What the hell?
He was putting 4 bolts on his neck, and I was wondering why he was doing that. He was trying to mimic your pips.
He had behaved himself for so long. I don't know what the hell. I'm going to have to, when we get back from our away mission, number one and I is going to have to sit down and re-examine him. Sometimes he just goes full boost. He
was pipping it.
That's for sure. He was hard pimping. So there's that. I don't have any lights down here on this away mission. Are we broadcasting?
Yeah, actually we are.
Of course.
Fuck.
Oops.
God dog it. Oops. Oops for the fuck. Okay. Restart.
Fuck.
We are not your podcast for kids. If you're a child, you heard a bad word, you can giggle and enjoy your little sneak that you listen to us, but go away now. This is not, if you're under age 18, you should not be listening to us. And if you're somebody I know and you're going like, wow, and then Nathan talk like this, yeah, I do when I'm with friends and broadcasting, but not in front of people. I will not be talking about that to a nun unless she wanted it to be talked to like that.
And if you're one of those kids that thinks you could just sneak it through and no one will notice, I have to tell you, Section 31 always knows.
We know.
They always know.
They know when you are sleeping. They know when you're awake.
Yes.
Oh, that's Santa.
And they know, and we also know why you take extra long showers. Tell your parents why you take long showers in the bathroom. Well, squeal. You don't want that to happen. So speaking of Section 31, we're being brought to you by Section 31, as well as our Patreon users. And thank you for all of our listeners. We really appreciate the fact that you join us every week, even though we get confused on why. But we assume that we're enjoyable in some way. So thank you. I have a full complement of the crew here today. Thankfully, in geosynchronous orbit, at least I hope they're in geosynchronous orbit.
Close enough.
Is the ship up there. We have my science officer.
Hi, I'm Heather Ferris. I'm the science officer, and I'm the one with the advanced version of Schrodinger's cat.
Schrodinger.
Thank you. And I'm trying to figure out if people like us or not. But, if I look, then I kill them. So
Wait a minute. Is that how it works?
I think so. If it doesn't, I've killed a lot of tribbles.
I got to keep you out of the account then. Don't look at the account. We won't let you see how many people listen.
That explains so many things. Next, we have my second in command here.
Hey, Patrick, computer guy number 1 and the foreign species liaison. And we are down here on our secret away mission that's really not so secret.
Oh, this is true.
Sorry, I tweeted about it already.
Yeah, and we have my most awesome engineer.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rocky. I'm engineer of the show and the ship and the Twitter account because, that's how I roll. Guys, we are 5 followers away from hitting 4,000. We're literally at 3,995 followers. And
my gosh.
Well, and then Twitter yelled at me for following people.
Wait a minute. on the Twitter account or on the Starfleet Underground account?
On just the Twitter account.
Okay.
Not on. No, that's nowhere near that many people listen to us. It's way less than that. But no, it's cool. It's kind of fun. All these people. When you post a really cool meme, my phone just buzzes all fucking day long for like a day and a half.
I was wondering why you were adding extra pockets to your pants.
No, he just sits all day.
So do me a favor. If you're listening to us right now, go ahead and hit a couple of follows and make Chief's day. Just go ahead. So let us hit that 4,000. And that'll work. Wait a minute. Who the fuck's at the...
Good
Who's at the door?
vibrations.
Hold on. Let me look. Holy shit, it's Shatner. No, you can't come in. Heather doesn't like you. Go away.
What?
Go wipe the cement off your hands.
If I have to see him.
I don't care if you're the Rocket Man. Go. Oh, this is a closed set.
Tell him to wipe the cement off his hands.
Oh my God! Just
he
go.
got a little
you
handy.
badmouth Star Trek. Go away. No, God, dog it. Get your eye away from the peephole. All I see is bloodshot. Go away. You're drunk.
He's just jelly.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Yeah, I know. I should have told him that, but then he'd try to kick the door in. Okay, sorry. I know you have your censor there. What is, do we have any corrections for this week?
Let me check subspace. Hold on a second. We shall see. And nope, nothing.
Outstanding. Before we get into the news section, I want to say this podcast may be really short because Heather and I mind bonded over this episode that we're reviewing. She's just not a fan. So we're going to put it that way. So the quicker we can get rid of this thing, the better. Heather, what do you got news for us?
Hi, Captain. So this week's news, I actually have two segments for you. The first one is Star Trek Simon Pegg was asked out of Star Wars, Star Trek, and Doctor Who were the hardest fans to please? And he replied, Star Wars. Their fan base seems to be kind of toxic. But the Star Trek community is the polar opposite. I find the Star Trek fans have been very inclusive, and, Star Trek is all about diversity. The second one that I have is it was announced at SDCC that a bold new direction in Star Trek comics is coming our way, starting with a brand new flagship ongoing series. This is starring Benjamin Sisko along with Data and Beverly Crusher. It takes place 3 years after the events of Deep Space Nine, What You Leave Behind, and 1 year before Star Trek Nemesis. His goal in the comics is to find out who is murdering gods.
I really want to be able to read that to see if Sisko punches out Q again.
That would be so much fun.
Friggin' amazing.
I mean, who doesn't want Sisko to punch Q out?
He's so good at it.
So that would be pretty wild. So we'll have to see at that. And how about you, number one? What do you got news?
Well, supposedly today at the panel at Comic-Con, Shatner was asked how he felt about the new Star Treks that are out, and he said that as far as he was concerned, Gene Roddenberry would be rolling over in his grave at the new Star Treks, that he doesn't approve of them or like them at all. And I'm just like, you know what? Shut the fuck up, dude. I mean, what? Just go away.
I wonder about reports like this because we're getting words, but we're not hearing him say them. Like, how is he being sarcastic? I bet he's being sarcastic. I think Shatner can put on a funny show. I mean, apparently he also said "fuck Star Wars," except for that Mark Hamill guy.
But that was at the prodding of Kevin Smith.
Well, yeah, and Kevin Smith is hosting the panel, so you got to wonder how much of anything is being taken seriously.
Oh, I love Kevin Smith. He's so funny.
It was reported on something else.
You saw it somewhere else too?
Yeah,
okay.
It sounded pretty
well, legit. You know what? If you like what you're watching in Star Trek, you feel free to keep it to yourself or blab it to the world. It's all good. If you don't like it, we prefer you not to tell anyone, but it's all good. If you want to.
Well, if he doesn't like it, give examples. Why don't you like it? Why would you think Roddenberry is rolling in your grave?
But what I find funny, and somebody else posted this, was that Shatner probably hasn't seen like a lot of the new Star Trek stuff. And in fact, he hasn't seen some of his own Star Trek stuff because he doesn't watch his own stuff.
No.
He doesn't like the way he looks on camera, or way he acts on camera. He doesn't want to relive that. And I can understand that is an interesting point of view for an actor, but an actor is about acting in the moment, not watching himself act in the moment on a recording. So whatever. Guy's been to space.
Maybe that's why he was knocking at the door. So he was trying to correct it. Maybe that's why he was trying to get into our area, because he wanted to correct his statement.
Well, it explains why he wasn't able to give any examples if he didn't actually see anything.
Yeah, but we did have yesterday morning. He did get his hands immortalized in cement at the Strange Fruit or Fruit something theater box on 5th and G in the Gas Lamp District, and a bunch of us were there and were able to partake in that, and we got a picture with him, and then we got a signed photo.
Oh, that's
there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, if you guys know, it's not such a secret location. We're at San Diego Comicon, and if you hear this podcast, please come down and see us, but make sure you bring the device that allows you to scan the area and see events that happened in the past, because we'd be long ass gone.
I was going to say, by the time this thing comes out, they won't be there anymore.
Well, they had a device for Picard where they were able to scan the room and see what happened. So have at it.
Yeah, if you have the Tal Shiar, you can spy on a Tal Shiar technology, then you're welcome to go check it out. But probably not going to be very useful otherwise.
No, not at all. Okay.
So my news this week, I was looking at trekmovie.com. I love getting all my stories from them because they got it all organized on one page. It's wonderful. And steal from the best, why not? They've been following this thing on Twitter with Melissa Navia, who plays Ortegas on Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, she's amazing.
And in fact, I've seen some of this on Twitter. She's an amazing actress on camera. I mean, she's great. We love her character. Her character's got spunk. That's all good. But when people started to complain to her that she didn't seem very military-like on Twitter, and she basically said, hey, wait a second. I've been getting all these people on Twitter telling me, like actual soldiers and pilots, that I'm like the most authentic crew member in the whole show because her humor is exactly what happens in real life and death.
It's true.
And people are telling her she's not professional enough. She's not this, she's not that. And she's actually feeling like that's more misogyny than actual real complaints.
Well, I have to agree. Even as a jarhead, we say sick sits. So it's like, okay, it looks like we're going to die. Great. I don't have to fucking wake up early tomorrow.
You might as well have an attitude about it, because what else are you going to do? I've heard this story from police officers as well. They've got a sense of humor that can be a little morbid because they're dealing with shit that we don't see every day. Because if you ever had to roll up on a traffic accident and you're the first one there and shit's fucked up because people weren't wearing their safety belts and their cars flipped over everywhere and, things are not all in one piece, it's not pretty.
Well,
I get stories.
It's like waking up to Nathan in the morning.
Oh my! Wait, when did you wake up next to Nathan?
He just don't.
I've woken up next to Nathan on many occasions when we're at cons.
Yeah.
Ooh la la!
Because all my underwear says exit only. So
they just cuddle.
There's that.
No,
that's just cuddling.
You're the one that opened that door, Patrick, so you can't be mad at them making assumptions. So there's stories I could tell about military humor and police humor that I know from people at work that I will not talk about because it's really kind of bad. Our corpsman had a great sense of humor. If you went to him and you had a wound, he would say, oh, don't worry about it. All bleeding stops eventually. So
that's awesome.
Wow.
So he was like that. If you're in an aircraft and you're going, this is, oh, don't worry about the fall. The fall doesn't kill you. It's a sudden stop at the end.
Yeah.
So that humor is big. Okay, my bit of news is that we had the opportunity to talk to a very talented costume designer for Strange New Worlds. She spent time with us and talked with us for a while, and she was very informative.
That's so cool.
Bernadette Croft. It was amazing. However, the only thing we tried to squeeze her for information of next season.
They don't like it when you squeeze them. You're not supposed to squeeze them.
I found that out.
Don't squeeze.
No, it took at least 10 minutes for her eyes to come back in her head. But that's okay. I squeezed a little too hard. But she did reveal one thing that she could do without getting in trouble with the NDA, which I thought was very nice for her to tell us, is that they wrapped season 2 filming.
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
So
they've been
World
wrap shooting, so they're cutting it up and they're doing all the post-production stuff. So, which isn't as much as you think it would be on an effects-laden show because they've got the AR wall. So, I mean, it's all cool. I can't wait to see more Star Trek coming out of them.
And it's all digital now. They don't have to worry about film processing, reshooting. It's right there, which is friggin' amazing in my opinion. Okay, I guess in order to keep the podcast short, we're going to jump into this episode of Enterprise. You can probably tell by my tone of voice I was not a fan this time.
Yeah,
so,
Captain.
Heather, I guess it's on you.
This week we watched Star Trek Enterprise Season 2, Episode 7, The 7th. It first aired November... Yeah, I know, right? It first aired November 6, 2002. Teaser. Waste of a good romance novel. T'Pol is reading a book before bed when she is interrupted by a FaceTime call. They located Menos. He's 3 days away.
Menos?
You must do something.
I don't think his name was Mentos.
They found the Freshmaker?
Yeah, it's Mentos.
It's Menos.
Oh, no, it's Mentos.
It's not Mentos.
There's no T. I saw subtitles work for at least the first part of the show, and there was no T in his name.
No, he was a fresher picker-upper.
And I know that. In my summary, he's Mentos.
I like that you picked up on the romance novel thing because I'm like, ooh, T'Pol's reading a trashy Vulcan romance novel.
Yes, right before bed.
And guys, if you've ever seen women reading these novels, have you ever actually opened one up and looked inside and see what they're actually reading? You're going to blow your mind because that stuff is, it's pretty raunchy. Mm-hmm. Like way more than you thought.
How many romance novels have you read?
I will plead the fifth on... I've only looked at a couple passageways and says, really? This is what you guys are reading? This is my little sister is reading this garbage? That's why they call it trashy romance. Okay. And you can tell by the silence from the other guys, they haven't read women's romance novels.
No.
Oh, yeah. I read enough in my life, so believe me.
I mean, I've read like sci-fi romance novels, but...
It's different.
It's like dark fantasy romance. So it's like, werewolves and vampires and ghouls. And it's way different than just a regular romance novel.
No, I've read books like the head nurse with the dirty knees. So
oh,
can't
goodness.
Get any more trashy than that.
Okay. Next section.
I thought it was interesting when the person on the other line was like, did I wake you? And instead of answering, T'Pol's like, it's all right. So in T'Pol's own way, she's like, yes, bitch, what do you want?
Well, whenever you get a call from Vulcan Command, I mean, you got to answer, so.
True. You don't have a choice.
I was just getting to the good stuff. What the hell do you want?
Yeah, what the hell do you want? I'm busy.
He was just beginning to logic her. What?
The trashy Vulcan romance novels are something else because it takes 7 years to get,
That's a slow burn.
Really slow burn.
Right. Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, part 6.
Like it takes till chapter 7 to get on with it.
Well, they gave a whole new meaning to the phrase edging. Okay, let's continue because obviously that went above people's heads. Let's go.
Hi, Captain. Act 1. Jelly much? T'Pol notifies Archer of her secret mission. To everyone's great surprise, he gives her shit, but finally stops when she invites him to go on the mission with her. T'Pol, Travis, and Archer fly down to the planet to capture a fugitive, but end up being a Vulcan, a spaceman, and a dick who walk into a bar.
Yeah.
Who was the dick?
First off,
who do you
Archer.
think?
Well, that's just your personal opinion.
I can't stand that guy.
Well, I got to tell you that the relationship between Archer and T'Pol in this section is like, really? They're like this? They were like that? I'm in the last season. I actually am like the first episode of the last season. And I can tell you their relationship has gotten way more friendly, way more professional, way better than this. This is like really awkward to watch them have this conversation.
Well,
he annoyed me.
Oh, hell yeah. He's basically doing a power trip because why? He can't fuck her? I mean, he's a dick. He's demeaning. He's degrading. No wonder why T'Pol won't screw him.
Well, I don't think it's about screwing. It's about secrecy. And he's really still pissed off at we have to remember the Vulcans are like not our friendly, happy Vulcans that we've grown up with. These are the Enterprise Vulcans where they're fucking dicks on another, they've been keeping Archer back. They've been holding him down and not letting him do warp drive stuff. I mean, they've been oppressing Archer's family personally, so he can't go out into space and have fun. So when a Vulcan phone call comes in, we've got to be secret about it. And they're ordering him around to do stuff. So they're going to go above his head. Like, you're going to get a call from the Admiral because secret Vulcan stuff. It kind of pisses Archer off just a little bit.
So if he wants to have sex with T'Pol, does that mean
he does not want to have sex with T'Pol?
It was established last episode. Last episode.
No. That was a Polarian slip. No.
It was 3 Polarian slips.
He didn't slip anything into anything, so it's all good.
He wanted to.
It was subliminal. We didn't consciously want to.
There's always a holodeck.
They don't have the holodeck on Enterprise.
Well, I mean, clearly he's sexually frustrated. He's sitting in his quarters banging his basketball against the wall. If that was me, if I was his neighbor, I would have come over and be like, stop that goddamn banging.
Thank goodness he was banging up against the hallway wall because, that would really piss off my neighbor too. Do captains of starships get a little, time for themselves once in a while? Or are they always holding it in and suppressing the urges?
Yeah, you're not supposed to mix the two, especially not with crew, because that handicaps you on being able to make decisions on what you need to do and send somebody on away missions. You don't want to send the person you're fucking on something that's going to be dangerous and they could die. It does happen, but that's why it's not supposed to be fraternization for that very reason, because you got to maintain separateness.
There was a really good episode on Next Generation, where Captain Picard was dating somebody and she was ranking underneath him. And he had that conflict where he had to send somebody in a dangerous way. And it was not comfortable. I don't remember what episode it was, but it was a good one.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. But Archer was being kind of, in my opinion, vindictive. He should have been more mature enough to separate the two and understand this is something out of her control. She didn't call up Vulcan Command and says, look, I want to send something out and let's piss off Archer.
But he hasn't grown enough yet. He hasn't. I mean, he's grown since the first season, but he's still not quite,
Dude, he was watching TV and then she's trying to talk, but he's not listening to her. So she steps right in front of the TV so he can't watch it. That's acting a little juvenile of him.
That was a little bit. Well, her response, I think, was a little juvenile too. But
she's matching.
She's trying to, And then, of course, it takes it to another level where she's asked to sit down where Porthos was sitting. She doesn't want to sit where the dog was sitting.
She might get worms.
Or fleas, something.
Or fleas can cause worms.
Or whatever pathogen was on the ship.
Yeah, whatever Porthos rubbed up against and peed on.
In the cargo bay.
Yeah, you don't want any of that. But now she has to sit in the same chair that the dog was in. I liked that because Archer's so frustrated about this whole secrecy thing, he passes it down. It's like Trip is going to be second in command, but I can't tell you. It's a secret. It's just he's like, come on, Captain, you can tell me. What's the secret all about? And he's like, nope, can't tell you. It's a secret.
Well, it's not his secret to tell. That's the thing.
Yeah, I kept expecting me to go, neener. I can't tell you anything. I mean, come on, man. Come on. All you have to do usually in the military, if you got something going on, you just say it's classified, it's on a need to know, and you don't need to know. End of story.
That's it.
Keep bugging. Come on, tell me. No. Just have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up and do what you're ordered to do. But I don't know. This whole episode, and I know we haven't gone through yet, annoyed this shit out of me. I guess we'll be able to get into it more. But yeah, he has orders, and Archer was being pissy about it, and she was being pissy right back. She's like, look, they interrupted my sex time with my private sex time. I'm annoyed as well.
I was just getting to the good part. It took me 6 years.
That's a long novel.
After edging for 6 years, I was finally get to that point where the logical probe was going to go in So, yeah.
You know, the only other thing about this section is when T'Pol finally breaks it down, she's like, I need you to come along. She needs Archer to come help her with this super secret thing that she can't talk about. And why? He asks, why do you need me to come to this? And she's like, I need somebody I can trust. And Archer's like, trust? You won't tell me what the fucking secret is.
But see, that right there, when she said that, I need someone you can trust, that should have made him feel like shit right off the bat for giving her,
Yeah.
She says, I trust you. And he's like, yeah, what the fuck, man? You won't even tell me what it is. When you this shit, God, dog it. He annoyed me this episode.
It's really a conflict, isn't it? It's really a conflict.
He just gives her shit. He gives her a lot of shit all the time.
And you know what? They do build that trust. I swear to God, they do throughout in the season. They can build the trust. And next thing you know, right-hand person and all that fun, happy stuff. It's not the vocan chick is on the ship. No, it's my first officer and this and that. It's, they build that. But right now, it's annoying to see this happen.
It really got on my nerves. I guess we can jump to the next section because I'm still thoroughly pissed at this episode. So,
Captain. Act 2. Hurry up and wait. Storyline A. T'Pol, Travis, and Archer break the first rule of going into a bar by looking super sus. Menos takes a hint and tries to escape, but Travis is a superstar and catches him. Unfortunately, they can't take him back to the Enterprise because an acid snowstorm started, stranding them on the planet for at least 4 hours. Back at the bar, Menos won't shut up. First, he tries for sympathy, then empathy, and when those don't work, he tries guilt and shame. Pissed, T'Pol goes out into the acid snowstorm to prove him wrong. She gets to his ship but only finds warp injector casings, no biotoxins or transgenic weapons. Storyline B. Meanwhile, Trip is enjoying the perks of being an active captain, but he doesn't like actually making decisions.
I think storyline B. Can we talk about storyline B real quick? Because it's just fucking funny.
Yeah.
Trip is like, oh, good, I get to be in charge of stuff. This is awesome. And then he's actually let's go eat in the captain's gallery. We'll get Cook to cook something up for us. They're eating large. He's got Malcolm and Phlox. They're hanging out in the captain's mess. A fun meal. And then the shit starts to get real. Phlox is like, there's like a virus and it kind of slipped through the bioscanners and, it kind of happens. And I can inoculate everybody. There's no problem. Except the inoculation is going to have a little side effect. People are going to have like headaches, a little bit of nausea, and diarrhea. And Trip is the one who's like, you have to order me to make this call, Trip. Is like, Phlox is like, this is an official thing. You have to order me. And Trip's like, I don't want to be the guy to make that call. And it's just like, I'm like, Trip, it's the health of the crew. But I'm not in the scene. I can't talk to Trip. But it's the health of the crew, man.
You're the fucking captain, grow some balls.
Trip's idea of being captain is telling everyone that he'll get back to them.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, let's make that decision just a little bit later. It's like, that's kind of dangerous. You don't want a virus to get to everybody. What if somebody goes wrong with the inoculations? Or what if something goes right with the inoculations? You gotta pace this out because you don't want to crunch everybody into the bathroom at the same time because you took too long to inoculate.
I was seriously expecting at the end of this episode, like half of the crew is going to be sick with something, like they turned blue or something ridiculous.
There's just going to be these really long lines to the restroom and people aren't going to make it. You know what I mean?
I thought by the end of the episode, because where they get the matter for the replicators. And it's like, what's for dinner? It's dessert. It's chocolate pudding. For the rest
That's awesome.
What the hell?
And then, of course, Malcolm wants to calibrate his stuff. So take the engines offline so he can use the computer and make the torpedo launchers work. And Trip's like, I'm going to turn the engines off because I like my engines running. And he's just, let me think about it. And then he gets the phone call from the Vulcans with the super secret information that he's like, tell him the captain's like indisposed and
take a message.
And he's like, dude, if you're going to straight out lie to somebody, make sure you have your lies thought out just a little bit because you can't tell a Vulcan he's going to be gone indisposed for 4 days.
Yep.
That was really.
You got to get your lies right. Anyway, that's my favorite part of this entire episode, honestly.
Okay, let me tell you the part
that whole section. That was my favorite part.
Well, and then I got to talk about the part that was not my favorite part. Mm-hmm. Okay, first off, I understand T'Pol is suffering some sort of post-traumatic stress disorder. I get that. But I get that she's trying to look emotional as a Vulcan, but she looked like she was constipated and wanted to cry because she hadn't took a dump in a week. And that annoyed me.
Very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable.
Having PTSD.
I thought she was just trying to show
I know
emotion.
she was suffering. She was trying not to, but the look came off. I get it. And I give her credit for going there and trying to figure a way to be emotional without being emotional. But the expression came off to me as, badly constipated and can't go. Okay, then the next thing that really annoyed me is that
maybe she got the virus.
There you go.
But then there's the other part that annoyed me. You can't leave because it's an acid stuff all over the ground.
Thank you.
Don't go. It's going to eat your feet up. Oh, wait, I'll get some thin cloths.
She'll just cover it with some little seatbelt technology that looked like he was belted in.
Yeah, it wasn't thin cloth though. It was pretty thick.
It looked like seatbelts.
Yeah.
They don't use seatbelts on Star Trek.
Okay, first off, they had enough to be able to tie him down. Why the fuck couldn't they make the little skater boots for everybody and just get the fuck out of here?
Right, hello?
Because everybody is like next section, but everybody's walking around in that. And she's the only one with straps on her boots, and no one else has straps on their boots, and their face is exposed, their hands are exposed.
Shouldn't your Starfleet boots take care of this? Hello.
And you figure this happens all the time?
I mean, when you're the only one with a strap on.
Thank you. Well, yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Well, according to Memory Alpha, the acid snowstorm was actually the landing area that was undergoing repair, and it was being coated by xylithoric acid. So my question is, one, why the fuck didn't they tell them about this before they landed? And two, oh no, I already bitched about that. Never mind.
It was a covert landing. They didn't call in.
Why would they do the entire floor at one time? Why can't they set it off like you do this section over here first? You do this section. When you have a problem with an airport and you've got to close a runway, they've got like 3 or 4 other runways you can use. I mean, come on.
Also, too, you would tell planes that, before they landed, hey, you're not going to be able to leave for so many hours because we're repairing the landing strip.
And if they had that there, and that's something that's protocol, why the fuck they didn't have it extra boots or extra feet covering in case of emergency or something like that to get out there? Just that the whole thing just bothered them. You can go to fucking bar and it's raining, and I guarantee you the bar will have some umbrella that somebody left behind.
I mean, they should have had boots made out of xenomorph.
You're right. Why didn't they have any band playing at this friggin' bar? They have all this play. It looks like the damn cantina scene from Star Wars. They got all this makeup budgets being spent on all these people, all these extras hanging out in this bar, and there's no band playing. They needed a band to play.
Now, also what got me is that this bar is out somewhere. Enterprise is one of the first ships that are out there in space. So these patriots should have been like the first time they really see humans, and they were like, huh.
Yeah, they didn't care.
And,
the other thing,
and the word you were looking for was patrons.
And so
not Patreon. You said patrons.
Oh, patrons versus Patreons.
By the way, we do
have Patreon people.
We are on Patreon.
Exactly.
Patreon patrons.
That's one way to promote it. I was blown away at the what do you call it? Hi-Jinks that happened in this bar. She locates the guy by accident and he ducks under the table. Did you see that? He fucking ducked under the table, so she turned around and couldn't find him because he ducked under the table. And then Archer jumps up on the giant table, and next thing you know, he's getting shot at because he made a big point of being the guy to get shot at right there. I was like, make yourself a target, Archer. You're real smart, real fucking brave. And then I would love to get a translation of that alien that was like 4 times his height yelling at him, because he was getting the shit yelled out of him right there.
Well, I guarantee you what he probably said is like, don't put your fucking feet where I eat my food. You're on the table. Get the fuck off the table.
Yeah, you don't stand on a table. What the hell's wrong with you, you stupid alien? I mean, either that, he was like, you could have come to us first. We could have located another human-looking type dude. We see them all the time. We kind of see them. But maybe that's not what they were saying. I think he was yelling at him for standing on the table.
Well, it's like when you walk into a bar, don't act so suspicious. Don't act so suspect.
No. They blew their covers so fast.
Oh, totally.
Oh, I ran the translator, and what the alien actually said is that the table is for meat and eat, not feet and seat. So he was just telling me.
And a couple swear words thrown in.
Yeah.
And the other thing about all of this, they're after this dude, and it's like he's guilty and presumed guilty and unless proven innocent. I mean, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Doesn't Starfleet know this? This hasn't gone away, right?
Yeah, but it really annoyed me to no end, this section here. But first off, the guy gets, like you said, he goes through all of these like the Blues Brothers movie. It's like, you didn't make it to our wedding. My car broke down. I had a flat. I was arrested. I overslept. I'm sorry. He goes through all these excuses. T'Pol gets there, and his sob story, basically, she kicks open every fucking container, and is what he said. It was the empty warp core thingies.
Right. She risked burning her feet off to go look through his radioactive ship and all this potent bullshit that's on his ship. She's, using her hands and everything. She's getting contaminated by it all. And it's just a bunch of ejector casings. There's nothing there. No proof of foul business or anything. So that really must be messing with her head at that point.
Yeah, but then she comes back and it's like, there was nothing but the ejector cases, but I fucking hate you anyway.
Yeah, it's so bad. Next section, please.
Yes.
Okay. Act 3, Cosplaying as your boss. Storyline A, T'Pol returns and tells Archer that she only found spent injector casings. T'Pol wants to speak with the prisoner alone, so Archer and Travis go find some food. The conversation is quick. Who is Jocelyn? The guy you killed on Ryza. T'Pol repressed these memories, which are flooding back, and she freaks out. T'Pol confides in Archer, telling him what happened. Fulara. It's a ritual that represses a memory and the emotion of the event. While everyone is distracted, Menos takes a Coke and explodes, starting a fire in the bar. A rescue mission goes down as they try to save the fugitive, but he escapes in the chaos. Archer and T'Pol instinctively head for his ship. Storyline B, Trip pretends to be Captain Archer and FaceTimes the Vulcans. We have a message from your admiral. Cal beat Stanford 7-3.
Woohoo!
In a way, I think that part there was the part that made me chuckle, because he basically used the Vulcan as a messenger.
He used the Vulcan as a fucking scoreboard.
Yeah, really. Yeah. And because they have no idea what that means, they think it's a secret mission. It's like a fucking sports score. So that was amusing.
It was hilarious.
But the thing that also pissed me off, you got a prisoner and you just leave him without anybody watching him?
Yes.
Yeah, this is
exactly.
They were definitely newbies at the Nab the Suspect kind of thing.
It was infuriating. Wasn't there like a class about this in, Starfleet Academy?
But they don't listen. It just the whole thing was annoying.
Wasn't he handcuffed to the table?
Yes, but you don't handcuff somebody to a piece of the set.
You can lift the table.
Especially a set table.
Those tables look pretty heavy, so he wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah, right. Tell that to an expert sneaking around person that knows how to stay away from Vulcans.
Was Starfleet Academy around during this time, or did Starfleet Academy appear later?
They don't know nothing. They're like the first ship out. They have no fucking clue what they're doing.
So they're learning by their mistakes. Okay.
Yeah, they're going as they go. And the other part that was amusing is when the Vulcan is like, I thought you would be older. So it was like
healthy living.
I'm telling you, Trip had the best parts of this episode. It was great. Yeah. That scene was wonderful. The ones before was great. Yeah, I have to love all of that because all of this other stuff going on is just really grinding me the wrong way.
Same here.
T'Pol is so bad about, you figure out who Jocelyn is. Who the fuck was Jocelyn? Nobody said anything about no Jocelyn. Well, it turns out she killed Jocelyn, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute. T'Pol's like a cold-hearted killer now? This is all crazy. And I start to realize what they're trying to do with this story. They're trying to lay on the issues of cops being traumatic and having to act. on things, and people who are suspects from cops, they're suspected of doing stuff, will do anything they can to not get caught because they don't want to get caught. And it's a story that's old as time. Everybody knows these stories. This is fucking a big, Black Lives Matter. Heard of that one? This is kind of the thing where, we don't want to be treated like criminals, maybe a suspect, but you got to at least treat us like humans. And the other side of it, cops who are professionally trained to do stuff like this, they deal with this shit all the time, and they actually get traumatic stuff happen to them too. So it's the combination of react quickly, make the right choice because you only have microseconds to figure it out against, do I run? Do I get captured and go into something that I didn't volunteer for in the first place and maybe I'm innocent, but they won't believe me? That's fucking scary shit too. So this has nothing to do with Star Trek, right? It's completely out of left field. It's like, this is not regular Star Trek stuff.
And this episode takes place in 2152, and Starfleet Academy is not founded until 2161.
Well, there you go. Pre-Academy days.
That explains it. There was just no operating thing. I was just annoyed. And you're going to take anybody down. Why are you going to fucking take what you should take Reed? He's the military person. If you're going to handle a prisoner. I was wondering about that. Yeah. It's like, what the hell? It's like, okay. All right. I'm going down to a dangerous away mission. I'm going to take with me the person who's supposed to be on that mission and Merriweather, who's the hairdresser. What the fuck?
I need someone that I can trust to be alongside. And apparently the person Paul decided to trust was Archer and not Malcolm, because Malcolm's a perv.
Yeah, well, that we know. But if I'm going on a mission that could be dangerous, I'm going with the guy who in his free time picks his teeth with his knife. So
right? Yeah, if you think your shit's really going to go down, you need someone that'll make that decision quickly and keep you alive.
It's like, thank you. So I guess we can go to the next section. So I really need to get this show out of my mouth. I got to get the taste out of my mouth.
Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it?
One more thing before we go to the next section. So it's weird seeing a Vulcan get emotional, and she was getting emotional with Archer, and the whole time I was just like, this is just not right. It's wrong. It's not.
And she's having traumatic flashbacks.
Well, they fucked with her head, so she's having PTSD. So like, there's something was done to her, and so that's why she's having such a hard time dealing with what she's feeling.
She's being repressed. Her emotions are being repressed in a way that's really forceful in a traumatic situation. I mean, she took somebody's life. How do you just repress those memories and just kind of erase it from your existence? Well, apparently you can't. And it hangs out in your subconscious afterward. Next thing you know, you're trying to apprehend a guy that was related to the dude you killed, and it's all coming back.
Well, Vulcans can't, but humans can.
Well,
humans can just go on about their day.
Oh yeah, humans are like, oh yeah, I dealt with it. Go take a drink or whatever, we'll be fine. But I think humans have problems with this stuff too.
So basically, her as a Vulcan, it's the emotional part, her being emotional is her reaction to them doing that ritual and suppressing the memories. And since the memories are coming up, that's how she's reacting to it, is by being emotional.
She's like completely the wrong person.
Well, she has no option. She has no option on how to react to it, but she can't. The things are coming up, but the ritual has conditioned her body not to respond to it, but she's obviously feeling it. So the conflict between those two things is what's causing the problem.
Gotcha.
I think she was definitely the wrong person to be assigned to this by the Vulcan High Command. They could have assigned the scoreboard guy to go do this because they didn't need her to do it. She was personally involved with this whole friggin' thing. And I think maybe her familiarity with the case was probably not the right reason to send her.
I have to agree.
Well, she did say that it was a matter of honor, that they consider it a matter of honor that she complete the mission that she was initially assigned.
Yeah, but they should have sent some Vulcan backup or whatever. I just, it doesn't feel right, man.
Yeah, well, like I said, this whole episode just bothered me. So there's that. However, her acting about dealing with it got better as it went on, but it still annoyed me.
You know what's also interesting about Paul, as you follow the show through the entire show, emotions are things that she has to deal with on a constant basis, like way more than you've ever expected a Vulcan to have to deal with emotions. She has to deal with emotions. And this is just like the iceberg, the tip of the iceberg kind of thing.
Yeah. And the smells that humans, because it was established the first couple episodes that we're supposed to have an order and the dog. So there was that. Okay, let's go to the next section.
Okay, Act 4.
Yay!
The Three Stooges and Travis. T'Pol, Travis, and Archer go to his ship looking for the criminal, but he's not there. Travis hotwires the ship and finds a hologram door, while Archer and T'Pol fight like an old married couple. The fugitive appears, and so does his hiding spot with stolen goods and biotoxins. The smuggler tries to lock Archer and Travis in the closet, but a comedy of errors results in an escape and then a recapture. As soon as they can, they return the fugitive to the Vulcans. Afterwards, T'Pol visits the captain. She is going through a lot right now, and Archer responds insensitively. Deal with it and move on, just like the rest of us. T'Pol is trying to tell him that she trusts him, the dick.
First off, it was really funny because when Merriweather finds the switch and he turns it on and the guy appears behind the holo wall, it reminded me of a Scooby-Doo episode. I would have got away too if it wasn't for you meddling humans.
I just really, I thought she was bluffing that she knew he was there and she was just kind of stretching to make it feel like we'll never leave. And then, in fact, I think he said that. I was like, you guys were even going to leave.
And you're supposed to be technical. I know this would never happen to you, Rocky. You're on the ship and you'd be like, you know what? These dimensions are off. The engine is only supposed to be so big. This area is supposed to be so big. Where the hell is the void
Where did they put the extra room at? That was kind of crazy to have a whole new room on that ship.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the scanner? It's just what happened.
A forced perspective or something.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a hollow wall.
More room. It's like I get confused because people on TikTok and said, we discovered a huge ass secret room behind this door. What? Did you know the square footage? So yeah, that just the whole situation annoys me. Even towards the end of it, when T'Pol goes and it's like, I just wanted to say that I trust you, and he's like, yeah, fuck that, I don't care. It's like, come on, Archer, cut her some slack.
No, he wasn't. He didn't say that. She said, if you ever need somebody you can trust, and he was like, thank you. He wasn't a dick about it.
Well, eventually he said thank you, but he was a dick at first.
Yeah, he did say, you're right, number one. He did say thank you towards the end, so I stand corrected. But like my science officer said, he was being a little assy. This whole episode, thank God that Orville came on afterwards to get the taste out of my mouth. This was just
I still need to see that.
It's really, really good. But I just got annoyed at this episode. I don't know. I don't know if it was the acting, the storyline, the writing, the directing. Something made me feel...
You know what it is? This episode, it did leave me feeling like really happy, like I just watched a great episode of Star Trek at the end. You know why? Is because it felt like this wasn't a Star Trek episode. It felt like somebody copy and pasted a typical cop drama and just changed the names and locations. So instead of being, in the streets of New York, they're on this planet. And they've got, instead of the cop cars, they got the shuttle pod. And instead of this person being, a thug or whatever, he's a Vulcan dude that's disguised. They kind of just copy and pasted everything, and it felt like a damn cop drama.
Well, it wasn't a bar.
You know what? This could have been an episode of Matlock. No, It could have been an episode of Matlock.
Yeah. They recycled somebody's cop script from, because they were probably rushed in finding scripts. I know it's hard to make all these scripts, especially when you're running, 20 episodes a season or whatever. It's hard to make all these scripts so quickly. Sometimes you got some stinkers in there. And I think this one wasn't smelling very good.
Yeah.
It wasn't their fault because marijuana wasn't legal yet. So
they had no inspiration.
No. Yeah, I'm done with this episode. Do we have anything else after this? Was it, right?
I mean, the only thing at the end is it turns out the dude was actually smoggling the biotoxin shit.
Yeah.
I just
drugs,
really,
so he lied his ass off.
He totally was like, he's like, I'm innocent. I'm the innocent guy. I'm the most innocent guy ever on the planet. And if you watch more of these cop shows,
he was Trump.
Exactly. Right? I didn't do it. It wasn't me. Somebody else did it. And
I'm the least racist person in the room.
They should have played Shaggy's song after this. I caught you with the toxin. Wasn't me. It was in your ship. Wasn't me. In the counter. Wasn't me. I was like, oh,
that would have been good.
Like I said, this is going to be a short ass show because I was not a fan of this episode. They could get rid of this episode and I wouldn't even miss it.
Yeah. The thing that bugged me about this too was when T'Pol is locking the door, Archer slams the door into her head to try to escape.
I thought it was pretty good action right there. I thought that was a good action move. Yeah, it might have messed up her head, but
first off, that's T'Pol. I mean, he's fucking up T'Pol. Second of all, the dude is standing like how many feet away with a gun pointed at them? Why didn't he just shoot Archer when he did that?
I think he needed to do something quickly, and that's what he did. The most elegant decision he could make right there is to burst out through the door and start a phaser fight in the smallest fucking location to do a phaser fight ever.
The whole reason why he had T'Pol lock the door while he's facing the door with the gun was because if he tried anything, he could shoot him. So when he tried something, why didn't he shoot him?
He was too busy worried about his biotoxin stuff getting shot back at.
Yeah. I'm going to have to quote Galaxy Quest in this. I really have to. Sigourney Weaver. This episode was badly written.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
It was just, yeah.
I mean, it was a nice try, but it was like, and you come off of the previous episode with another one like this. And I'm telling you, I remember distinctly feeling at this, even when I saw it originally, that didn't feel like a Star Trek episode. It felt like somebody recycled somebody's cops show script. And it totally felt that again when I saw it again. It was like, yeah, this is not regular Star Trek writing.
I feel like it should be like the show. You are the weakest episode. Goodbye.
You're the weakest link.
No, if you want to bring up the stuff that the show brought up, I thought there were some valid things that the show brought up, talking about police brutality and, the proper training of police officers and what they have to deal with on a regular basis, dealing with criminal, stupid thugs doing stupid shit. And some people are innocent and they just say they're innocent, and maybe they are, maybe they're not. They don't know. I mean, there is a conflict of interest in those things. Yeah. It's an interesting conversation to have.
It was an awkward show, though.
But it was an awkward place to do it in a Star Trek episode.
Yeah. Ready to wrap this up, Captain?
We're going to go ahead. What would you give this on a 1 to 10, Heather?
I give this a 2.5. I'm not impressed, and I'm spoiled with new Trek.
That high?
2.5, yeah, that high. But if we have to experience Enterprise, at least this is like the best way to experience Enterprise, because we're doing like 2 or 3 episodes, and then we're getting new Trek for like how many months? And then we do 2 or 3 episodes of Enterprise, and then we do new Trek for how many months? So if we have to watch Enterprise, like the bad parts of Enterprise, at least we get a lot of new Trek in between.
How about you, number one? What would you give it?
Maybe 3.5 or 4. I mean, it was okay. It was just like, I don't know, it really didn't do anything. I mean, it was kind of like the last episode too, where
agree.
coming off that amazing Strange New Worlds finale, it's like, wow, this really sucks.
It's not fair, is it?
No.
No, it really wasn't. How about you, Chief? What would you give it?
I think I'm giving it about a 6, maybe a 6.5, because I did like the guest star. I've seen him in stuff before. He's a good actor.
Bruce Dickinson.
Yeah, he's really good.
X-Men.
Yeah, he's awesome.
X-Men. He is a good actor. Yeah.
And, and everyone's a good actor in this. And it's interesting to see there's weird backstories going on with T'Pol that I don't think they ever touched on ever again. Her being a Secret Service, spy, killer chick for Vulcan that came out of nowhere. And then the saving grace was Trip. Trip's scenes were wonderful. I mean, using a Vulcan starship and the Vulcan as a paging service to say, here's the score. I mean, that's fucking hilarious. That's about it. Other than that, it felt like somebody recycled a cop show.
For me, if it wasn't for what you just said with Trip and the Vulcans being done, I would have gave this show a -5. But because of Trip, and they tried to, and like you said, they never went back. This was like typically a bottle episode that you remove out of the pack and no one would know. My final rating for this would be a 2. And that moved it up from the negatives. And that has to do, again, like you said, with Trip and the whole thing on there. I think that he was amusing and he was the saving grace for this episode. I not ever remember sitting down watching Star Trek and cringing through the whole thing. It's just maybe I was tired, maybe it's everything else, but it was not the best Trek.
No.
Again, we're going to be able to cut this short because we get a hi from Shatner, because I do think I heard him down the hall trying to come back. So this is going to be interesting.
I heard him yelling "fuck Hamill," so
Oh dear, that's going to be fun. Oh my God, I just heard someone say knife fight between Mark Hamill and Shatner. I got to see this. Okay, what are we doing next week? Did I catch you by surprise, number one?
Yeah, I'm a little tired. My leg is still killing me. I walked into a fire hydrant today because when we were walking back from the con, and there was this monster of a human being who was like 7'4" at least.
Was that like the guy who yelled at Archer?
Well, it surprised me, and I wasn't paying attention, and I walked right into a fire hydrant, and my thigh is just killing me. So next week's episode is called The Communicator. So it's all about their little flip phone.
Hopefully it's going to be a lot better. And Patrick, I heard him because he walked into the fire hydrant. Ribs hurt me because I laughed so hard. So it's a good thing in a way.
It's going to be black and blue in the morning, so.
This show is going to be really short. They saved the chief engineer from having to do a lot of stuff to get this transmitted out to you guys. So thank you so much for joining us. We'll be posting pictures of the con and everything else, so make sure you give a listen. If you want to contact any of us, we're at The Collective at StarfleetUnderground.com. That address again is The Collective at StarfleetUnderground.com. Thank you so much for joining us, and remember, just don't have a great week, but make it so.
And if you can, support the show by going to patreon.com/Starfleet Underground. Lots of perks to choose from, and you might even like some of them. Starfleet Underground, beaming into a podcast feed near you. Log on to our website at starfleetunderground.com and send your comments and questions to The Collective at starfleetunderground.com. Follow us on Twitter at StarfleetUnderG and on Facebook and Instagram, we're Starfleet Underground.